Well, as it turns out, I'm going to be making another dessert. And the reason why is because today, Jared has his soccer tournament right smack dab in the middle of when I'd usually be making supper. So instead of that, just make something super simple and create a dessert. Take the kids out for supper at Boston Pizza, and then we can have cookies later on. I'm gonna make cinnamon oat crunch cookies. So healthy cookies, that's what I call them. But they're not really gonna be healthy cookies because Curtis doesn't want walnuts in his cookies. So he wants me to substitute with milk chocolate chips and mini Reese's Pieces. So I'm gonna split the batter when everything's been added at the end, and then one batch, a dozen will be chocolate chip and one batch will be Reese's Pieces. And I'm sure they're gonna be scrumptious. Okay, so first thing that it calls for is for me to preheat my oven to 375, which I've already done. Let's see what temperature it's at. Yep, looks like it's at 375. I have a temperature gauge on the inside of the oven, so that's how I can tell how warm it is. Because our oven is not accurate, it's old as dirt, and it says that it's at roughly 320, but the inside says it's 375. So we can't go by what this says, because it's not accurate. And then one day, when I can afford it, I'm gonna buy myself another stove / oven, and without these stovetop elements, I want the flat top, and then it'll actually be accurate when I go to cook stuff. You can imagine how many things I ended up burning because I didn't realize that this was actually hotter than it actually is. And then when we put that thermometer on the inside of the oven, it sure helped. And now I'm used to cooking that way and baking that way. Anyway, okay, so all the ingredients I have, believe it or not, because I did something I don't ever do. I got my husband to go out and buy light brown sugar because we didn't have any. And I got him to go out and buy raisins because we didn't have any. And he came home with the chocolate chips and the mini Reese's Pieces. So for the first time ever, we went and shopped for a recipe. But he really wanted these cookies, so now he's gonna get his cookies. The very first thing it tells me to do is to add the butter, and then I'm supposed to beat in the sugars and the eggs. Oh, so I'm gonna go and grab a knife, like a butter knife, so I can scoop my butter out of my cup. And while I'm at it, I'll grab 2 eggs from the fridge. Eggs, butter knife. This isn't actually butter. I did this last time when I made that apple cobbler. I think it called for softened butter. And I ended up using margarine instead, and it tasted fine. So I'm using margarine again, just because it's already softened, and I don't feel like pre-softening my butter. So, margarine it is. Boop. And sugars. Calls for 1.5 cups light brown sugar. Okay. I need like scissors. Or maybe I could just tear a hole into it with my fingers. That works too. One cup. So I got paid today, but I was in such a hurry, I had such a long day, I had so many things to do that I just did not have time to go and buy a card. And I didn't have time to get stamps, so I need those too. So maybe, if I have time this week to go shopping, maybe next week I'll have 2 cameras set up again. Oh, that'd be nice. Oh! Oh, messy. All right, 1.5 cups light brown sugar. Thank you, Mr. Brown Sugar. 1/2 cup granulated sugar. Hey! I don't have any granulated sugar on my... I thought I got everything ready. I'm gonna go get my granulated sugar. Granulated sugar. Oh. Okay. It just says that I was supposed to... Oh, okay, all right. Okay, because it says beat butter, sugar, eggs, and then in brackets it says 1 at a time. So I guess I'll mix this up first. I guess. Huh. And then add the eggs? I don't know. I'm not really clear on those instructions. Oh! I don't know who this is by. I don't have... Oh, I feel bad. It doesn't say who this recipe is by. Aw. I printed it off from online, but it doesn't say who it's by. Well, now I feel bad. Because they should get recognition for this recipe. Because it's going to be delicious. No, I don't know if I'm supposed to use like a blender for this. Or an egg beater. I don't know, I'm just using a spoon. Okay, it's kind of like not together. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be in one clump or not. So I'm going to add the eggs now. And it says 1 at a time. I get, oops, we don't want to include the shells. I don't know why we do it 1 at a time, but there's got to be a reason behind that. Oh, well, look at that. That's so much nicer now. It's easier to stir too. It smells yummy. Okay. Egg number 2. Yeah, it gets easier to stir when you add the eggs. There we go. Who needs a blender when you have a tireless arm? It looks good. Sugar, butter, and eggs. Betcha it's delicious. I'm gonna try some. I like it. 1 teaspoon vanilla. Okay, just like so. And then stir that in. It says until well blended. This is going to be yummy, I can tell. I want to taste it again. Hey, I got like a lump in there. What's that from? No, it's just bubbles. They look like lumps, but they're actually bubbles. Okay. Even better with the vanilla. I could just like eat this batter. It's tempting. It's telling me in a separate bowl I need to mix together other ingredients. So I'm going to go grab another bowl. It doesn't tell me what size, but apparently just sifting flour, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg, so it should all fit in here because I only need 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. Okay, so we'll do that. All right, there's 1 3/4 cup. Oh, that actually takes up a lot of space, more than I expected. And then baking soda, 1 teaspoon. Looks like we're just about out. But I have a couple of containers of baking soda, so that's okay. Well, not quite full. Just want to make that as even as I can. Stick that in there. Salt, 1/2 teaspoon. Open it up over the sink because a whole bunch of salt falls out of the shaker. And if I don't, and then it would all go into there, and then I wouldn't know how much I would need in terms of, making up the difference. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Cinnamon. It says 1 1/2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Cinnamon. Right here. I hope I have enough. Oh, maybe. I hope so. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's 1 1/2. Oh, yeah, we'll have enough. And 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Still got at least another 1/2 teaspoon in there. And nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon. It's a good thing there's not lots because I don't think my husband likes nutmeg. Can't really get it out very well. There we go. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I got a clean spoon. I'm going to mix all that together. It says that I was supposed to sift my flour. I didn't sift it. Why do you even, why? Is that just to try and make the flour finer? Does that create a different texture in your cookie if you sift your flour first? I don't know. So I didn't sift my flour. Obviously, you saw what I did. I just took it straight out of the bag and I used it like that. Maybe sifting it prevents it from clumping together. If anybody wants to leave comments, let me know. All I can do is learn. So I have the flour and the baking soda, the salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg all together now, and it's telling me to add these ingredients to my butter mixture gradually. gradually. All right. Just put a little bit in at a time. Doesn't say how long this takes. Like usually it tells me how long it takes to prep, and it tells me usually how long, oh yeah, it tells me that I cook for 8 to 10 minutes, but it doesn't tell me how long it takes to prep. But that's okay, because when I prepped all this, there really wasn't much to it except for grabbing stuff out of my cupboard and getting it ready. 5 minutes. Unless you consider this, what I'm doing now, as prep. And I haven't been keeping track, so I don't even know when I started this. Maybe it's been 10 minutes, but I'm also taking my time. I'm not going really fast. Just kind of very relaxed right now. It's nice not being in a rush, because I know it's not going to take long to cook or bake this, and we can be on our merry little way while the cookies are cooling, and then have dessert when we get home. I don't know why you wouldn't just add all the dry ingredients at once. Maybe it makes it harder to stir if you do that. Maybe it'll get really clumpy. I know that they say, you know, to bake a certain way for a reason, because it creates different effects, right? Just because I don't understand what those reasons are doesn't mean I don't follow the directions. I try to follow the directions. I think I do, for the most part. So it's getting harder to stir. It's getting thicker. And I do have an egg beater. Well, egg beaters that actually came with the blender that I have. I guess I could have used that. But I wasn't thinking about it till now. Glad this is the last little bit, because so much for the tireless arm. It's not that tireless after all. I'm glad that this spoon is strong. I feel like it could break. Curious to know if how fast you beat it affects how your dessert turns out. I'm not really beating it that fast. Well, hopefully that'll do. You know I'm going to taste test it again. It's good, but it tasted better before I added all that stuff. Yeah, beat at low speed. So I guess that was physically low, a physical low speed. And now it tells me that I have to fold in the oat crunch. I chose Quaker Harvest Crunch granola cereal. You can buy it at Costco. And it's asking for 3 cups. Well, there's my son, playing on his game, as usual. 1. Fold in 3 cups. I kind of understand what fold in means. When I think of folding in, I think of sheets on a bed. And how you just, or, you know, when you're making a sandwich wrap, you fold over the wrap to secure the contents of the wrap. So I'm kind of wrapping the batter in and around the oat crunch. But I don't know if that's what it means when it says fold in, but that's what I'm doing. And hopefully it's right enough that it'll still have the same effect. Oat crunch cookies. No. So that actually worked pretty good. I can tell it's all the way throughout, pretty even. And then I'm supposed to add the raisins, and it calls for 1 cup of raisins, sultana raisins. Doesn't say sultana, but that's what I have. Not quite, maybe a little more. Okay, 1 cup of raisins. Nice. And I guess I'm supposed to fold those in too. Yeah. My hair is tickling my nose. I should have it tied back. I've said that before. Yeah. I've got like cookie remnants on my hand, and I'm rubbing it off on my nice clean shirt. I don't know how you would mix this with the blender. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm doing it right. This is the part that you would do by hand anyway. Especially if you have to fold it in, right? Because you wouldn't fold it in with a blender. So there we go, we got the raisins all throughout. I'm not really a huge fan of raisins, but they do taste good in cookies. And they're healthy for you, right? And then now it's calling for the walnuts, but we're substituting with chocolate chips and Reese's Pieces. So I'm gonna bring this bowl back, and I'm gonna stick half of my batter in this bowl. Like so. Hopefully it's pretty even. I hope so. It's hard to tell if I got this even or not. Oh well, if you have a few more of one kind of cookie than the other, then so be it. So it's calling for 1 cup of walnuts. So I guess it would be half a cup in each bowl. I don't know how I open this without a knife. Oh, there we go. That was not too bad. So we'll put half a cup of yummy chocolate chips in this bowl. And a few for me. Yum, yum, yum. A few more for me. And then Reese's Pieces. I'm not really a big fan of Reese's Pieces. I like M&M's, but not with the peanut. So the Reese's Pieces will probably be mostly for Curtis. Yeah, and the kids. They'll probably like it. I like them. And half a cup of Reese's Pieces in the other bowl. Okay. Start with this one. These are gonna be yummy. It's a lot. It's gonna be like a Reese's Pieces cookie instead of Oat Crunch. There's so much. Okay. I did good mixing that all together. Use my knife to get the rest of this off the spoon. Okay. And then mix my chocolate chips. Oh, my eyeball. It's itchy. I must have got a little bit of hair in between my lens and my eyelid because it was tickling. Yeah, it seems like an awful lot of chocolate chips. Like, I like chocolate chip cookies, but not if there's too many chocolate chips. If it's too chocolatey, then I'm like, nah. I'm not a huge chocolate connoisseur myself. A few here and there, like what I did just a few minutes ago where I took a few and ate them. That's about it. I'm satisfied. But this looks like overload of chocolate chips. But whatever. I won't be filling my face anyway with these. This is for the family mostly. Well, there we go. So now we're supposed to drop our batter onto our cooking sheet. It says use a cookie scoop. I'm going to use an ice cream scoop. I'll be right back. Here's our big pan. My ice cream scoop. Ooh, that works well. I like it. This won't take long. Okay, those are gonna be some big cookies. All right, I'll stick that in for 10 minutes, well, 8 to 10 minutes, or until the edges of the cookies are lightly browned. That's what the recipe says. And then you cool for 2 minutes, then move to a wire rack to cool completely, and voila, we'll see what people think. Okay, see you in 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm a little nervous how these are going to taste, how they turned out, because right after I told you that I've gotten used to the temperature fluctuations in the oven, after cooking or after baking for 3 minutes, I went back and I opened up the door just to check to make sure the temperature was accurate, and it was at 450 degrees, which is like 75 degrees warmer than it was supposed to be. So I take the cookies out, adjust the racks, put the cookies on the top rack, adjust the temperature, put them back in, and then check every 2 minutes to make sure that they don't burn. And so now I'm really curious to know how dark they are on the bottom. Hopefully they're not burned, and hopefully they're cooked all the way through. I jinxed myself. But they smell good. Anyway, we'll give them a couple minutes to cool, and then put them on the rack, and then we'll see. Wish me luck! So we have Reese's Pieces. Nope. Go and get dressed, Jamie, please.
Reese's Pieces.
We have Reese's Pieces, and we have chocolate chip.
I am chocolate chip.
Yeah.
What?
So pick
There's
which
raisin
one.
in this one, though.
Yeah, they all have raisins. So pick one, Reese's Pieces or chocolate chip, and take a bite. Tell me what you think. Let's try the Reese's Pieces. Oh, don't walk out of frame. Don't walk out of frame. So you can look at me so I can see what your reaction is.
It's good, but no raisins.
You don't like the raisins? So next time leave out the
7 out of
raisins? 7 out of 10 because of the raisins?
Higher about raisins.
Okay. Okay, Reese's Pieces or chocolate chip?
I love Reese's Pieces so much, but I want to go for chocolate chip.
Okay, grab a chocolate chip.
I don't know which one I want. I want that one.
Okay.
It's light, so that
Stay in the camera.
Okay.
Stay in the frame, I mean.
Can I eat it, one?
Okay, try it.
I want some more.
Well, take another bite then.
I like it.
How much would you give it?
What's the highest score?
You can give it 10.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
Even the nuts taste good. Now we're going Daddy.
The same one that you
Yes,
Daddy.
they are
look at it.
identical to the ones
Turned
you
out
missed.
perfectly.
Did they? Did they? They actually turned out despite the temperature problems with the oven.
Very good.
What would you give it?
I'm gonna beat Jamie and give it a 10.5.
Wow, you like your cookies.
No, I give it a 100 out of 100.
Right on. Okay, chocolate chip.
Yes, very good. And this is all you're allowed to eat. Those are mine, because look, that's all she made,
They're excellent.
and they're mine.
They're really good.
Yes, they are.
They're mine.
They're 10.
And I give it 100 out of 100.
Yes. Alrighty.